In 1823, inside the Washington Hall Tavern at Bar and Columbia Streets, a citizens group met to file paperwork with the state of Indiana designating a 660 square mile area of northeast Indiana to become the state's newest county. And on April 1st, 1824, Allen County was born. With the passage of the last 2 centuries, Allen County has arrived at a major historical monument and moment for which there might as well have been a monument, and it is the 200th anniversary of being a county. And so how do you celebrate a county's bicentennial? We'll find out on this week's Primetime. And good evening, I'm Bruce Haines. Joining us today from the Allen County Bicentennial Committee are Lea Ann Powers. She's heading marketing for all of that for VisuaLea Creative in town. And also with her, Alexandra Hall, who is artist and public art consultant with Consulting. And along with Alex, it's always a pleasure to welcome Irene Ator, who's a member of the Bicentennial Board and a community volunteer par excellence. And they are all here. Irene, Alex, and Lee, thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Must say, we've all had celebrations that we've planned, graduations, and such, special occasions. How do you plan a celebration for Indiana's largest county by land and 3rd largest by body count?
It's a very significant milestone, obviously, and we want to honor the past and all the achievements in this 200-year journey, but mainly we want to shine a spotlight on what makes Allen County so wonderful now, a place to work, live, and flourish.
You had mentioned just before you went on air, this has been quite the week. We're heading into harvest season, and we have been reaping a lot of very significant data points about the positive aspects of life in Northeast Indiana in general, and in the Allen County region in particular.
Right, amazing the accomplishments. We can proudly say that we are the fastest growing region in the Midwest, that we are the most affordable to live in the whole country, and that we are the 2nd easiest place to start a business. That is quite something. And so it's a challenge, really, when you think about the future, what we're going to do and how, as we come together to celebrate, we need to also say we are not just going to predict the future, we have to create the future. So it's a challenge.
And so let me ask the marketing director. Your phone rings and they say, we have this idea, and it takes a group usually to, it's the let's put on a show, and it's a show writ large over multiple months. But from your perspective, how do you treat a moment in time like this and get everyone together so that they can feel like they truly indeed are a part of it all?
That is a great question. I would dive back into our history and all the innovators in Allen County, all the creators that have made our county who it is and what we are. And we are trying through this celebration of the bicentennial to find multiple outlets for the people in our community to feel engaged. So we have art activities, we have writing activities, we have engagement activities, and we also have essay activities, as well as viewing activities. So we'd like for everyone in Allen County, regardless of whether they are directly involved or not, to feel like they have contributed to Allen County. And like leading right out with our Fine Arts Public Sculpture project here, I Am Allen County. We want every person in Allen County to feel like they are part of a story, and they are helping to write this story today, and that story will live into the future. So maybe that's a good time for Alex to tell us about our public art project.
I'd like to add one thing, though, first.
Sure.
I think the secret sauce of what makes us special is the collaborative spirit. And the theme of our whole bash and celebration is Together We Soar.
Right.
It doesn't matter who gets the credit. It's not about me. It's about working together. And that makes our community very special.
And there is a great deal of compatibility between the individual opportunities that are presented in this collective celebration for the county. And we're going to hold the sculpture one at bay. But I do want to turn back to the group just to get things started, because there is a Bicentennial Kindness Challenge that has been going on for a while, speaking of legacy. Right. And that's a wonderful thing with an array of potential points of light out there. How does this work?
All right, I think Lee's going to describe that.
Sure, and going back to what Irene said, along with YL&I, Young Leaders of Northeast Indiana, the Bicentennial Committee is joining forces and actually challenging our community in a kindness campaign. We'd like for families and schools, organizations, and businesses to define an act of kindness that would benefit them, their family, or their organization, community, or school, but to record that. So to create some kind of form that they can actually record 200 acts of kindness. And when they've completed that assignment, YL&I has created a tracker on their website, ylni.org, and they'd like for you to report what that activity was, how you were engaged with the community or others, and then find a way to pay it forward. So we are tracking the acts of kindness within our community with a goal of trying to really see how much kindness we can generate prior to our celebration on November 16th, but we're actually extending it through the end of the year. So any family, school, organization, or business that would like to define an activity that would benefit their clients from a customer user perspective, or from a customer engagement perspective, or even a friendship perspective, holding a door, buying a cup of coffee, please start recording those so that we can generate a kindness initiative that will demonstrate that Allen County potentially is the kindest county in the country. That's our goal.
That's our accolade, and there are no kindness police. Whatever a person thinks is a kind act, just write it down and count it as an act.
Exactly. We had seen a couple examples, and Alan, if you can share those, we had a diaper collection drive.
Nice.
You know, that was
Very
already
good.
going on, so now we're down to $1.99. And we had families doing this on their own, going around the neighborhood, picking up 200 pieces of trash.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
So now you're down to $1.98. No, there's a whole lot more, and you saw the QR code. We will put that back up toward the close of the program, but that's another way to connect with the YL&I initiative to make this work. But this is something that can have national ripples, right?
Totally. And you know, we are very kind. And I'll tell you later about when we asked the community what is special about Allen County, what was said. But we just have to, we do it, we just have to write it down and make everyone aware of it.
Well, I love how, there's the Sunshine State or Land of Enchantment.
We're the
we need
kindest
to be
state.
the kindest state right there
Love
at
it.
right at the bottom of the license holder.
Love it.
Coming soon to a car near you.
Right.
And as you're in your car, you can then travel around the county, and now we can get to the whole notion of how the whole county is a palette, practically, but more importantly, a sculpture contest, Alex.
Right, so we have been working very closely with many partners within the county to develop a theme for each location where these sculptures are going to be located. So as you mentioned, you might need to get into a car to drive around to see them all. There are 15 of these. This is a very small model. In real life, they are much bigger, and I like that they're showing you on screen the scale. They're about 7 feet high, and they are three-dimensional, and we have worked with 15 different artists to paint unique murals on the sculptures, and those murals are going to be representative of the last 200 years within each of those spaces. So from Huntertown to Zanesville, New Haven, many of these communities have pieces now that are going to be representative of their story.
And as you're describing the program, we can see some of the locations, and now we can name names of some of those
Yes.
that are picking up the
brush.
the brush, the chisel, the hammer, the Band-Aids, and making art.
Yes, exactly. So each of these artists have been working hard on designing proposals that were basically informed completely by the local steering committees. And what's really lovely about this is for some of these communities, this is one of their first public art initiatives. And some are just getting to augment the collection that they've already started. So we are already a county with a lot of great public art, and this is just adding more really meaningful work to that collection.
I do have to ask before I forget. It seems now cities themselves are becoming the canvas for art. What has that been like, in your view, to help transform and keep a celebration going, and to see large buffalo on the landing, for example, things like that?
These become part of our identity, and they are leaving a lasting legacy. And it's also informing creatives that this is a place where they can stay and flourish and continue to invest themselves in our community, which is only a benefit for us, because really it's how we continue to become in future the nicest county and one of the best places to live. So the more creatives we get to maintain and keep here, the better.
It really reflects the personality of the town. And now much has been said about why people move to a place, and it's really quality of place, whether it's development of the rivers, whether it's the art. It's all about the feeling that they get when they move here. And so this is very important.
Right.
And Alex, of course, is in charge of all that downtown. She's the mastermind.
And I understand our friends in New Haven have taken a step forward in some county activity of their own. I think it's transformation through transportation,
Yes.
which is today's verbal stumper as you move through it all. But what a wonderful way, again, to be able to have that individual quality, community to community, but still have it all collectively connect.
Exactly.
One thing I'd like to say about the fine art thing, the public art sculpture piece, is that it's been really interesting to me as an artist over even the last 20 or 25 years that art has taken on a new relevance, and it's more about a lived experience than just a piece of fine art. And what I think is beautiful about what Alex has done in Fort Wayne, and what's kind of neat carrying this project forward, is that it really demonstrates a lived experience within that town and township, and it helps that township tell their story in a public way. So it really shines a light on the good things that have happened all around the county, and is a way to unify us back to that together we soar. So
Yes.
that's really cool.
Yeah, and now through all this, another piece of connective tissue would be the timeline. Another dynamic is a part of this celebration for the county, and you pick it up from there.
All right. Well, the Journal-Gazette generously sponsored this, and actually Lea again is the person, because she is in charge of it's a larger than life-size timeline that will be at the Bash, but then it will travel to the library.
Right.
It will go to the AMP Lab. It will go to the History Center. It will live on. And that's what we're trying to do with a lot of the gifts that we're giving. It's not a one and done. They all will be assets that will be used many times and just help people understand and feel pride in all where we were and where we are and where we're going. Lea, do you want to add? Or
All I'd like to say is that, like in our minds, time collapses to our lifetime, but by really extending that in an actual physical, like 50-foot long historical display based upon the generosity of the Journal-Gazette, we hope to just really walk people through history so they can see where we started and how we've arrived where we are today. And the Journal-Gazette has been in our community for over 150 years, generously supporting our community and really lifting up those elements of our community that need to have attention drawn to them. So we're happy to highlight their headlines in this timeline, but also create a visual that will have a lifetime that goes beyond the Bicentennial Bash, so that others in our community, and hopefully students and families, our community, can really step back and embrace how we got to where we are today.
Lots of stories worth telling and ideas worth sharing,
Right.
which helps with community conversation. The
Absolutely.
Journal-Gazette is amplifying that as well. I understand there are 2 essay contests that are of a kind that are out there. Tell me about those.
The Journal-Gazette on September 2nd gave a call to the community to accept 2 different essays, or not, 300-word paragraphs that talk about 5th graders to high school, to the end of high school, what the future, what they see in developing and creating our future, and then for adults to tell them what is so special about Allen County. And on November 23rd, on the perspective page, all these, the best ones that they choose, will be displayed, and we can read all about what our community thinks is the best and where is our future.
And I believe you still have through the balance of September to submit.
Right.
So there is still time to enter
Right.
if a thought occurs to you, or get those young people, get the whole
Yeah.
family can play.
Yeah.
basically,
Right, but
which
they're
is
going to
great.
carve the future, the young people.
Yes, they
right?
are.
So we need to know what it's going to look like.
Right.
And while there is still time before the end of September, then 5 minutes after that, it's November.
Right.
For what began in April and seemed like it was going to be oh so long in 2024, is what I love is it is truly a culminating event for all the reasons that one has the word culminating in that sentence. Tell me why.
Right. So November 16th is the big day, and thanks to Philip Colglazer from the Civic Theater, who is the creative producer and who really is the gold standard for theater. He has created a vital, vibrant, dynamic, entertaining show that is 200 years through music. So it's a musical journey. And he has invited and engaged 5 different groups: the legendary Train Hoppers, the Northside Wildsiders, the Genesis Outreach, Civic Theater Performers, and Voices of Unity. And they're all very accomplished. Voices of Unity just was the world champion in Auckland, and the Wildsiders won the state championship in jazz. And they are going to be taking us through a musical journey, 200 years, using the kind of instruments that they used 200 years ago all the way through. So it's a show, and it will be wonderful and uplifting, and we'll learn and we'll enjoy.
And that comes again in a spirit of community. It will be an amazing evening at the War Memorial Coliseum in the conference center there.
But I'm not finished.
And yet she's not done.
So,
But wait,
there's more.
There is a lot
We're
more.
going to reveal other gifts.
That's
So
what it says right here.
Okay,
No, go
so
ahead.
as people come in,
Yeah.
6 of the sculptures will be outside, and people will be invited to take selfies, because this is all about I am Allen County.
Yeah.
And then during the show, Allen County has never had a flag, and we are going to introduce an Allen County flag and an Allen County song, which is beautiful. And again, it's Together We Soar. It will make you cry. It will give you bumps.
Wow.
And so it's going to be a fun evening. There's also a video called Together We Soar that One Lucky Guitar is doing, and that is something that is going to be shown there, but it's also living on, will be shown to employers who might want to consider coming here. So it's kind of an economic development tool. It'll be shown to students and classrooms. So there are lots of things that are living on.
It's
Don't
kind of
you wanna
funny.
come?
Well, wouldn't you think in some regard after 200 years somebody would have thought of that by now? But it's a lovely thing that they didn't, and you
Right,
get,
and
you
we
now can have that connection going into it.
Exactly.
And is the flag experience something about which you're shepherding as well?
I am not.
Okay.
It is a community thing. There has
Community
been
thing.
over 300 or 400 entries, and the community, it's going to be whittled down, and then the community will get to whittle it down further, and then the commissioners, who of course are the hosts of this whole celebration, will probably pick the final one.
And
But
we-
no one will know until that night, November 16th.
We do have a celebratory graphic we should share just so you can all see this Allen County Bicentennial Bash right there across your screen. The truth of it is, word has been out already because I guess we're running out of chairs.
We are. The sponsorship is closed. The single seats might still be open. We're trying to figure out how to put more tables in there. Right now we have room for 640 and they're gone, but we're going to figure out. So that's not closed yet.
Well, there's
the
a
individuals.
lot of pride going on, and you'll find out more about where to connect with all things
Yep.
related to the bicentennial here in just a moment. I want to be sure we talk about time capsules. Who would like to take that one on? Because there are at least
Two.
this many.
There are 2 time capsules.
And
One is the one that the county is doing, and that's going to be a big box that will be located in the basement of Citizen Square in the recorder's office. And in that, community is invited to submit artifacts, photographs, and then one of the things, and this is what I wanted to tell you about before,
Yeah.
be a tourist in your own hometown, we had a bicentennial table. And we had cards out for people to fill out that said, what is the most special thing about Allen County? And people weren't so interested until they learned that it was going to be in the time capsule. Then they wanted to be, and that's going to be open in 25 years. So it's not that long. There'll be a lot of people still around.
Love
So
that.
after 1,200 people went through, what do you think?
Oh boy.
I'll give you 2. What do you think would be the thing that people love most about Fort Wayne? I'll ask all of you. What do you think?
Oh my goodness.
Give up?
Sure. It's in my own interest.
Okay. The thing that most people said was the people.
Oh, nice.
The friendliness, the kindness.
The kindness.
They want to be with family. So that was number one tier. The second tier was parks and trails.
That's really good.
And the third tier, Alex, you'll love this, was public art,
All right, there you go.
the zoo,
Yeah.
Oh,
and the
zoo. I love
library.
the zoo.
And those
Yeah.
are all
Nice.
such wonderful assets.
are
We have
wonderful
so much to
assets.
be proud of.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I believe on the Pufferbelly Trail, isn't that one of the locations
Absolutely.
where some of the sculpture
Yes,
would
we'll have a sculpture on the puffer belly.
And one in the airport, and one at Riverfront, and in parks. It's exciting. They're going to be all over. And then the second time capsule is the one at Amp Lab, that 400 students under Riley Johnson are deciding now. They're guiding it themselves. They're learning. They're being project managers.
Okay.
And they are going to also invite the community to submit artifacts and things, but they can't be organic or rubber or electronic because, in 25 or 50 years, they won't be there.
Unless you put the instruction manual in the time capsule also, that might come in
and all
handy.
the electronics.
Exactly.
Yeah. And so
Batteries. Remember batteries.
Right.
Okay.
And they will they're at Electric Works, that's where they're housed. And so they will be putting the time capsule somewhere there, but they haven't decided if that will be open in 25 or in 50 years.
I remember you sharing with me that an overriding goal for all things with the celebration is to ensure that all involved feel included, represented, and respected. I'd
Love
like to
that.
have each of you take that one on as the great filter through which all these ideas go, because they sure seem to head that way.
Let's start there. I've talked enough.
That's all right.
No. I mean, how lovely that everyone feels like they're part of our community, and going back to that kindness and wanting every member of our community to feel like they're included in some way. One of the nice things about the Why LNI Forum on the Kindness campaign is that there's an opportunity to really create a narrative. So if someone is working on a campaign that they think is being not addressed or should be addressed more deeply, I think that there's a really open opportunity just to express that. And then also on the Bicentennial website that the county commissioners have created, there is a volunteer form there, and I don't know that there are volunteer activities specifically, but if someone has an idea of some way that they would like to be more of a participant or see something change in our community, it's always good to collect that kind of feedback to make sure that we're like filling in the cracks where people aren't being heard.
Yeah.
So I think
that.
reach out to those around you and reach out to the representatives in our community to make sure you're heard.
Yeah.
Your voice counts, right?
And Alex, what's your voice for 30 seconds?
Oh, 30 seconds. I suppose it would be if you're a creative in this community and you see opportunities like this, please apply, try, get involved. We love to put creatives on a platform and hear their voice, and we've worked really hard to make opportunities available.
The whole is truly greater than the sum of the parts. And it's a wonderful work that you all are representing on behalf of so many others that are representing. And here is how your computer can connect you with several ways to go for AllenCounty200.com. We also have AlexandraHallArt.com for information there.
Good.
Also sharing YLNI one more time, and you can go to the site to be sure you're tracking your gifts. Fort Wayne Civic Theater is out there as well. And special thanks to Hanning and Bean.
Thank you for being the official sponsor of the Bicentennial, and to the commissioners for their support.
And thank you for continuing to write the great story that is Allen County in its 200th year. For all of us with Primetime, on behalf of Lea Ann Powers, and Alex Hall, and Irene Walters, I'm Bruce Haines. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Thank you.
The Orchard, new independent living homes, part of Golden Years Homestead, a faith-based, continuing care retirement community. Information at goldenyearshome.org.
At Purdue University Fort Wayne, we know what it takes to get where we're going. It takes a first step. It takes every step after. It takes a mastodon.
Providing banking products with technology to serve our communities across Indiana. Lake City Bank.